we want to get that as easy as possible to make it. And you know, a lot of the pairing technologies like Bluetooth, so with Bluetooth 3.0 and even Bluetooth T1, we pick a color here. You guys can go ahead and, you know, I can put in a little bit of paint stuff. You guys can pick a color. Only one color per person though, so that's kind of a demo thing, but you press a little harder, you're not going to hurt it. There you go. You guys can, we can kind of swirl it around a little bit. You can use one color at a time. Pick a color and you can go ahead and paint. So you just pick a color, you pick a color, now go ahead and paint with it. So it's, these brushes don't have any electronics in them, anything like that. I can pick a different color while he's doing it, but it's just real world symbols. And then you've got you've got different symbols here, which are using our barcode tagging system. So you can have multiples of these, but you see there's different designs, and you can put one down and it does something interesting like that, and it's very fast. You don't have to really wait a long time to do any of those things. And to demonstrate a little bit about the vision-based system, so you can actually do handprints too. So you can put your hand down there. You can see the differences in textures based on how I touched it and how hard I touched it. And
like somewhere like
so if I put this card down on the surface, it's going to recognize me and it's going to put my photo library up there. So I've got stacks of photos, maybe from different trips or something like that. So I touch a stack of photos, it throws them out on the desktop. And you guys can go ahead and touch them a little bit, but it's multi-user. So you've got to play that video, and I'll move that over here. You can grab a photo, and so everybody can be looking at the photos that they want. They can resize a bit. There you go. Put the other fingers. There you go. There you go. Yeah, perfect. So we can be doing all those different sorts of things. You could, you know, we would see this being a kind of an editing app. So you can pick an app, you can resize, and I've got it paired to the device. Normally at home, once you take pictures with your camera, you hook it up USB, you download them, you take a look at them, you do whatever you want. So what I'm going to do with this one is set up with Wi-Fi actually. So I'm going to take a picture. There you go. So now the picture's on here. It's you can see it's blue, so it's actually connected to the surface. So if I want that picture, I just set this down, and it's going to go ahead and download those pictures.
Here I am.
Oh, there you are.
They know my terrible color. That is quite
interesting. So what the idea here is then that, you know, once you've taken that picture, then you can do different things with it. You can copy it to your site. If you have your card, you can move it around. You can press on it and you can say, I want to make a postcard out of that. So now it's going to put that particular photo in different mode. You can pick different borders. None of the borders work, but you could pick different borders. You click down here and it'll flip it over, hopefully, and it'll give you the back. So you can go ahead and write a little message on there, and we'll put a little happy face. You can say hi, having a great time at CES. And you can mail it to someone. So you can bring up a virtual keyboard, things like that. But since it knows who I am, it can bring up someone. Sorry?
Could you add contacts on the
email to you? What we'd like to see is basically putting your phone down and being able to just throw pictures over to it. So you can flick a couple over there. This is kind of an interesting flick technology. Flip that one over and it just kind of puts them on. So now you can put a bunch here to music. So you notice that Sheraton Hotels, it's starting to play a little music for me now here. I got confused with this one a little bit earlier, but I'll just do the Zoom demo. So you can actually pick pick something like Cyndi Lauper. You can go look at the back, and you can actually drag songs over here and cue them up. So it'll just start playing those songs, and you go ahead and put that back. So you can browse different songs, do things like that. But it's not necessarily just a static experience of listening to the music. You may say, oh, I really like that song, or email to you. But what we'd like to see is you take your Zoom, You set it down on the surface. It knows it's a Zune. It recognizes it as a Zune.
Bluetooth, right?
Sorry?
How can communicate with the phone?
So with the Zune, it's all 802.11, so it's Wi-Fi.
Is that Wi-Fi?
But we can support anything wireless, Bluetooth, those sorts of capabilities. So I like this song, so I'm going to go ahead and put it over on my Zune, and it's going to, if we can't purchase it, it's at least going to put that song information there, or do that 3x3 play that Zune does, where it plays it for 3 days and lets you order it. An interesting part of that is, you may have another person there with you, and they've got their Zune with them, so that you go ahead and put down 2 Zunes, and now it shows you all the different playlists for those. So you can say, oh, that's an interesting song. I want to, browse your music. Oh, I like that one, so I want to put that song. I want to put that song over on my Zune. Those partners are going to be rolling it out in the spring. So this is the Attract application. So in a venue, dining experience, this is designed to be the table that you're dining off of. So it's interactive. Normally you would come in, pick up your menu. I don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what I'm looking at. Maybe we just want drinks. Maybe you want desserts, things like that. With this, you go ahead and I'll touch your screen. So you bring up your menu and beverages. You guys can browse the beverages. If you want one, you can just drag it over here to order it. Just drag it up and you do it. Stand up a little bit and you'll be a little bit. There you go. So I'm going to bring up my menu. And I'm going to go ahead. You've picked some beverages. I've seen you do that, so maybe we're just getting drinks. So you can go ahead and pick a drink. Yeah, go ahead. He can pick. So you drag it over to the middle. There you go, and then just go ahead and drag it out. There you go. Thank you. So I don't want an orange blossom because that's not very fruit smoothie. That sounds great. So I'm going to have a credit card here, but you would typically take a credit card, and I'll just try. So it allows you then, split up the bill. Oh, it's working. Good. I got the right 2 cards. So, and then you had the Frappuccino. So now we've divvied up the entire bill. $9.20. You can see it, and we're making it, you see how much you're going to have to pay for each one, and you can adjust the tip. So 29% is a little high, but we're going to go 20%. So it makes it very interactive, and then when you're ready, you just go ahead and print pay. And if your credit card doesn't support the Surface or whatever it is, maybe it just goes ahead and prints it out, or they come and take it. But you just go ahead and pay, and you from in front of the snowboard, and I put it down on the Surface. At that point in time, it brings up that particular snowboard, and I can look at the front and the back, and you can see it's pretty plain at this point in time. So I want to make it my own. So very blank board. So I'm going to go ahead and design my own board. I could just start customizing it, but I want to start with a little bit of a template. So I go to inspirations, and it shows me some of the the snowboards that have been used by the pros, different designs. So I'm going to pick one of those, and I'm going to put it over on my snowboard. So now it applies that template to my snowboard. It tells me a little bit about the board and about the particular professional snowboarder that uses that design. So I've got that on there. You see it didn't do anything to the back yet, but I'm going to go ahead and customize based on that particular template. I'm going to pick a few decals. So when I go into decals, I kind of like this one, so I'm going to put this one on the front. And I can pick a different color, and then I can go ahead and drag this over to the board and resize it a bit. And I like it right there, like that. I'm going to go ahead and put a snowflake on there and make that color. I'm just going to drag that one right over and put it right on the back. So I customized the front of the board a little bit. Now I'm going to go look at the back. And I really like this one, so I'm going to put that one. There we go. So I put a little design there. So I kind of customized it a little bit. Got the front and the back, but to really customize it, I'm going to go ahead and put a signature on there. So I'm going to go ahead and write my signature. I'm going to go ahead and pick a color because I wanted to be a little bit more flamboyant. There we go. So I put my signature on there. Now I can go ahead and drag it right over on top. Now I'm going to make it kind of small. There we go. There we go. So now I put my signature on the board. I've got some different colors there, things like that. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it up, and I'm going to get some bindings for it. So I take the bindings, put the bindings over on the snowboard. At this point in time, in a retail environment, you know, it may show you some boots that would work with it, some apparel that matches it. For me, I was just interested in the graphics and the design, so I'm going to go ahead and save it away. So I've got my phone with me. Got the design. I don't have any friends with me right now. I've got a lot of friends that snowboard. I want to take the design and show it to them before I actually make a purchase. So I put my phone down on the surface. It says, oh, how do you want to save it? So I'm going to go ahead and save it to the phone. Now it's saved on my phone. So I go, I show my friends, the picture. What do you think? And they're like, oh, it's very cool. That's the right board for you. Maybe you want to make these and those changes. So I go back to the store at some later point in time, put my phone back down the surface, and it brings up my board. So you can see that got the front and the back. So my friend said, hey, we really hate the snowflake, so I can drag the snowflake off, but I've customized it the way I want, and